Okay, good afternoon, Marian. And for
Afternoon, ma'am.
sige, and last time, no, actually we didn't finish yung properties ng colors, 'di ba? Tama ba ko? No? So again, speaking of color as one of the element ng landscaping or design, so we can divide this. I mean, this have also properties, no? Like the monochromatic scheme wherein one color lang siya, and then shades lang ang ginadala, no? And analogous yung ano niya, yung mga colors that are harmonious or parang adjacent doon sa color wheel. And yung complementary, yung opposite sa color wheel. And so yun yung mga properties ng ating color. And the last actually is the visual weight, no? When we speak of visual weight, yun yung combination na ng lahat ng mga six properties, no? So I will not dwell sa mamadaliin ko lang siya ha, kasi you should be prepared by your Udelo na ano, and this is just to introduce to you, and wala na tayong masyadong time. So this would be our last session, and I will just update you. So for our next lesson, we are going to talk about the different principles of design. So ito nga pala yung ating photo ng visual weight by mass and contrast. So as you can see, pag high visual weight, medyo malaki, no? Mabigat siya tingnan. And pag low visual weight, medyo malapad siya at saka maliit siya tingnan. So these are the different principles of design, no? Mag-photo. Isa ha. Mag-screenshot lang sa usap. Medyo ano lang po ako ang laptop. Ay, ako ang internet. Medyo hinay. Okay. Okay, so moving on. So we actually have how many principles, no? Proportion, order, balance, repetition, and unity. So those are the different principles and of design and how to apply it in your respective locality. So ito yung last topics natin. And although meron akong pinakita before na watch out na lang doon sa second na pinotes ko na na session. So meron kaming presentation, no, in that. So again, first and foremost principle of design is yung by the way, why do we have design principles as guides sa ating landscaping, or in order to organize the elements para maging visually pleasing siya. So these are guided by principles, no? Or we make sure na yung ating landscape ay merong harmony, no? Like what you say in everything that we do, no? Pag nagde-design tayo, kailangan talaga merong balance, may harmony. Di ba lain ka tanaw na, ay, ano maning parang mabigat masyado tingnan, or hindi siya in order, no? Yung inyong arrangement, kumbaga. So, we will make in every, in every landscape or in every area, we have, could it be our own room, our own house, or our own garden, or or yung ating veranda. So we wanted to have a harmonious na design, no? Para mas visually pleasing siya. 'Di ba gubot siya sa mind if you can work really very well, and sometimes lain siya pag dili kayo nice ang arrangement sa atong surroundings. So we have again the principles of proportion, order, repetition, and unity. So meron lang tayong 1, 2, 3, 4 na principles of design, and these are all related, no? And also ang principle nito is only to help achieve the unity and the design. So this is a psychologically based sa ating human comfort, no? And concepts natin in design. So what usually people feel psychologically to become comfortable, no? So we usually organize our landscape, no, as a signs of parang natural na yun na sa tuwa na human care, and easier for us and for our eyes to see and to feel at ease. So it's called psychological comfort. These are actually affected by our sense of pleasure, no? And it's very natural for us that when we say natural things and surroundings, dapat we perceive na harmonious siya, no? Walay gubot, no? The same with our relationship with one another. We are also a social aspect, no, as a human being. And so pag naaga ni magkagalit, no, or you might hurt someone, so murag lain kayo, no, na wala siya nagtagal sa imuha or di siya ganan sa imuha or nakapasakit ka og tao or nakapahila ka. So it's the same with our connection to our environment. So dapat unified and harmonious ang ating landscape to feel more physically comfortable, function better, and feel more secure and compatible in our, of course, psychologically human scale. So what are these proportions? So when we speak of proportion, it refers to the size of an object, no, in relation sa ibang size. So we have absolute proportion, and yung ating scale, an important absolute scale is the design. In design is the human scale, the size of the human body. So para sa atin, like for example, although iba't ibang lahi, no, from one country to others, genetically we are not the same sizes, like the Asian, the Americans, the Europeans. Syempre ang tatangkad nila ang tawag doon, ang lalaki nila, diba, kumpara sa atin. But in our country or in our own community or surroundings, we actually refer to our proportion sa ating size, no? So so therefore, like kung napansin niyo, kung halimbawa what else? Go McDonald's, no? When you go to McDonald's in other countries, ang lalaki ng kanilang cup ng mga soft drinks kumpara sa atin dito sa Pilipinas. Or let that also like when we have table here, or when we have like for example, even the different varieties ng plants, no? I've been to Samoa, and lahat ata ng mga fruits and vegetables doon ay relatively malalaki din kumpara sa ating varieties dito, no? Like for sunflower. So I have a photo na kasing lahat talaga ng nung face ko ang sunflower, diba? Although we can also have that one, but this is just example. So proportion in plants, as you can see here, these are the proportion, no? Depende sa like for example, malalaki. We have landscape na mas malalaki sa atin, and we also have landscape na mas maliliit sa atin. So So the feeling ng balance can also be achieved by symmetrical balance. Okay. Anyway, so this, when proportion is in void, for example, in open spaces, we feel more secure or smaller, no, in open areas kasi ang lalaki ng ating surrounding. Pero pag nandoon tayo sa naka-enclose tayo, for example, nandun kayo sa loob ng greenhouse or screen house, or have you been to any botanical garden, no? Maliliit siya. So, medyo yung tanim natin, of course, hindi mas tatangkad doon sa greenhouse or kaya sa atin, kaya maliit lang din ang feeling. So, that's proportion. So, order is also generally refers to the spatial layout or organization ng ating design. So, when we say, and this is also achieved by balance, no? So when we say, napaka-disorder naman ng iyong mga gamit, no? So how would we rate that na disorder siya? Diba? Lang ha. I-update ko lang ang ating okay, so how would you say na in order yung ating design, no? So usually by balance, no, the concept of equal visual attraction and weight. So parang even in terms of timbang, na sasabihin natin na kahit nga sa plane, no, based sa iyong timbang, measure yung yung luggage natin na dapat siya, balance siya lahat, no, sa different sides, no. And concept ng visual attraction or equal visual attraction. Sometimes like masyadong like in the face, no, masyadong malaki lang ang mata mo comparative sa face mo. No, for example, masyadong masingkit ako comparative sa lapad ng face ko, yung mga ganon, no? Parang in order siya. So, usually meron tayong mga ganong concept. But sometimes what is unique becomes beautiful, no? Like for example, sobrang laki naman ng mata mo but it looks very attractive, 'di ba? No, and it depends on the combination. Usually around a real or imaginary central axis, no? And so it actually affect yung form, color, size, and texture, no? The balance of this one. So this could be symmetrical, asymmetrical perspective. Again, when we say symmetrical, it is all balanced, no? For example, this one. Now we can see that it is symmetrical balance kasi when you divide this one, kung anong meron dito sa taas, meron din sa baba. Unlike dito sa asymmetrical balance, no, around an axis. So, pag this side here and this side here ay hindi pareho, no? But when you divide in this axis sa up and down, so balance siya. But when right and left, asymmetrical siya. So when you say perspective balance, it's concerned with the balance of the foreground, midground, and the background. So overall mass collection, these are similarities in arranging of all the groups around a central space of in feature. So that is all about balance, no, and proportion and order. So that's proportion first, and then order in terms of balance. And the next is the repetition. Why do we need repetition as a principle? It means repeated use of these elements, form, color, line, texture, no? Because this will create rhythm in the landscape. So, like for example, in music, we have rhythm, diba? In dancing, we have rhythm. So, in visual pleasure, meron ding rhythm, no? And this is achieved through repetition of all of these colors and objects. So this must be used with care too. So it will create because it can create monotony. Like for example, paulit-ulit. Minsan nga, diba, pag we are speaking, sometimes, yung boses natin naging monotonous na, diba? Like, parang walang ka-reaction na parang robot, no, kapag magsalita. No? Or like kung kanang nang ipa-read mo na siya o kanang automatic, diba? Like, yeah, sa Google Reader. So, marag isa ra yung boses that's monotonous, and sometimes you fell asleep or parang boring siya. So, and also, pag masyado naman siyang reactive or masyadong no, kanang hyper lang masyado, no. So dapat simple repetition lang siya, or the use ng the same object in a line, or the grouping of all the geometric forms such as the square in an organized pattern. So actually napaka-complex siya, but it is just simple. In fact, meron lang tayong 4 na principle, no? And another one is using alternation, like maglagay ka ng color yellow, and then light yellow, dark yellow, and then again dark yellow, light color, light yellow, and so on. So parang alternate siya, or alternate na white, red, and white, red, ganon. Di ba maganda siya din tingnan, no? Or tall, small, or yeah. So mamaya we will see another presentation before we end, no? And also another example is using square form in a line in a circular form inserted every 5th square. So for example, that's for a square, no? Or gradation or gradual change ng characteristic is another way to make na repetition, like ng mga features, no? So we will have an example on that. So ito ang repetition ng square form. So if this is your lawn, patio, and ayan, parang repetition siya. And in plants and hardscape, you can actually repeat all the plants na magkakapareho. Di ba pag i-combine mo lahat ng mga like let's say hydrangeas, di ba? Yung hydrangeas or million flowers, pag naipon sila lahat, ang ganda tingnan, di ba? Like when sunflower are all in the fields, lahat ang ganda tingnan. And unity by dominance. So unified sila, pero may na-emphasize na property ng plant or object that will attract an individual or wholesale attention, making the object important na feature. So for example, then doon sa lahat ng fields, like when you say tulips field, ano pa yan? Ano ba yan? Violets, no? Kanang mga field na inaana, diba marag nakalula, nahantod sa kanang like when you are in a rice field, no, makakalula siya. Pero that's not a landscape design, no? But although that's a natural landscape of a monocropping, but then when you apply it in a landscape design, parang wala siyang dominance, no? Although unified lahat ang nasa lahat ng paligid, but dapat merong isang dominant object that would be your center of attraction. So this could be done with in a garden using brightly colored ceramic pot, no? Like for example, in our European style of design, merong fountain, no? Sa Zen naman, merong mga stone or bamboos, no? Pag sa tropical naman, may mga palm trees, ganon. And yeah, this is an emphasis by isolation of plant material in a container. So merong container, like for example, ito, no? So ang mata mo mapupunta talaga doon sa center of attraction. So, and the last one is the unity. Unity is linking elements and features to create na consistent character in the composition. That's why we have a lot of designs ng landscape. no? Tinawag natin silang tropical, European, English yung British ata, no? Or American. And Zen or yung Japanese style. And there are a lot of new concepts, no? Depende sa creativity ng tao, and it usually change with time and yung trend, kung anong trend. So, bakit ang unity is referred as harmony, no? Or the concept of everything fitting together. Like for example, kung ang concept mo ay jungle, no? Siyempre, lahat doon ay mga natural trees or ano ba yan? Mga trees nga and mga forest, no? Pero pag may mga ano doon, like falls for example, pero may mga building doon, parang ano siya, out of place, diba? It doesn't fit, no? Or when you combine a Zen with European na design, so hindi siya unified, no? So kailangan may unity. Or sometimes unity by three or unity by interconnection, no? It's just mean na interconnected lahat ng mga design mo, no? Connected siya. Yung like nagda-design ka na meron siyang bridge, no? Or pathway kasi papunta ka doon sa may ano, no? Parang bird's cage ba o gano'n. Or unity of three, it means na meron kang variations of three, no? It could be color or any elements. And unity by simplicity. The concept of reducing, eliminating mga non-essential or nagpapa-chaotic look lang, no? Sobra rapod kayo siya ka ano, di ba? Ka-colorful, so dili na siya unified. So, applying the principles and elements of design in our personal style and sense of place, even actually itong mga principles na ito and elements is not only for landscaping, no, sa ating mga tanim, but also in our own life, no, sa kitchen natin, sa ating pananamit, sa ating fashion. It's the same principle. So, kaya nakalagay dito personal style and the sense of place where you in your neighborhood, and what condition do you have, no? Like for example, alangan naman, no, pag nandoon kayo sa Iceland, alangan naman di makapwede dito mga arte-arte kaayo, so puro radyo ka ice, but you can make your surroundings very pleasing, although if you imagine, no, kung ice tanan and white tanan, ang say pleasing, no? But then if you want to create a landscape that is beautiful, so you can actually carve this into more creative ways, no? And locating features and defining outdoor rooms. So depende yan kung saan ka nakatira, no? O, tropical countries ka ba or sa desierto ka ba, no? Kahit ang desierto ay walang katanim-tanim, but you can still have a beautiful landscape. So you just have to regulate lines from house walls and indoors, or whatever you have in your environment. Okay, for example, no, sa dining mo, no, you have open space, you have garden. So maganda actually tingnan yung dining room and even kitchen kapag outdoor siya or nasa outside ng bahay mo. Okay. So I will not dwell into the details of this. No, anyway, you have seen the different principles, and I hope you have understand well. Do you have any questions or clarification? So let's just have a minute lang, a few minutes of let's say principles of design. So do you have any question or clarification before we will have video presentation? So tingnan lang natin itong very short lang, ha. Tingnan natin ito kasi you can actually watch a lot, no, but in our case medyo nagmamadali. Ako na dito nagdali. Kaysa, iusab na ako kay Mark, ano, usab-usab man. Okay, so that's it. Although dili kayo siya, ano, for me, dili kayo siya nice pagka-explain. But then you can still, ano, there are a lot of videos to show you that the principles of design, especially sa landscaping. In landscaping, dahil siya ang pasabot. Aha. Anyway, that so pwede daghan kag pwede mapilian, no, if you want to watch more videos on principles of design in landscaping. Sorry. So medyo mahahaba kasi. So that one is an example of the European, 'di ba? Pag nagani fountain sa tunga. So do you have any questions or clarification before we end?
None, ma'am.
Anyone? Do you have questions or clarification?
None.
Okay, so I guess that would be all for our whole semester, and ano lang ko sa inyo, update lang ko sa inyo kasi I'm not really sure kung hanggang this week lang tayo kasi nagabag-o ba ato ang ano. But anyway, for this session, one session lang muna tayo kasi you are going to have your Udelo na training, no, para yan sa online naman natin na mga kadang ano online classes. So kung wala na tayong mga tanong or clarification, that would be all for this session. Thank you very much. So that you still have time for your 1 o'clock na ano. Please append ha yung ating orientation. Okay, do you have some more mga pahabol na questions or clarifications sa final ninyo? Anyone? Okay, so if wala na, then anyway, you can always chat me in our group chat. So thank you very much. That would be all. Have a nice lunch break. Bye-bye.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye.